So welcome to the webinar launching Module 4 of SOIL Academy. My name is João Koblinski. I'm from IUNG, that is the Institute of Soil Science and Plant Cultivation based in Poland. And we, from IUNG, together with our partners from IUCN, we are developing and creating the Module 4 of SOIL Academy. So in the webinar today, in the agenda today, we are is divided in three main topics. So the first one, we will have a brief introduction about the NBSOIL project. So for the people that doesn't know yet what is the project, so we will have a brief introduction. And the second point is about Module 4 of the Academy. So we will show the topics, the main topics that we are covering this model and the learning outcomes that we have from these topics. And then the last section of the webinar is inside the Moodle platform, where I will show you where the SOIL Academy is based or is located, and show you how to access and how to navigating the topics in the sessions of the level 1 of the Module 4. Okay? So starting with the introduction from the NBSOIL project. So what is the NBSOIL? So the NBSOIL is acronym for Nature-Based Solutions for Soil Management. So it's a project, 4 years funded project under the Soil Mission, a Soil Deal for Europe. So, and the main goal of the project is to develop and create learning pathways for a new wave of soil advisors. So with this outcome from the project, we will contribute for the target of the Soil Mission, a Soil Deal for Europe, that is to reach at least 75% of the soils in a health condition for humans, for nature, for and animals. So the NBSOIL project is integrated by 14 or 16 partners around 8 countries. So, and is coordinated by IUNG in Poland. So these countries are Poland, Netherlands, UK, Spain, France, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy. So the NBSOIL works to promote the nature-based solution and highlight how important it is to monitor our soils, and also improve the soil literacy, the soil education. And the project is not focused only in the rural areas, but also in the forests, in urban and industrial areas, focusing in 6 nature-based solutions to develop a holistic approach to land management and soil health. So the 6 nature-based solutions are the organic fertilizers, cover crops, paleoculture, bioremediation, forest diversification, and blue-green infrastructure. The main outcome of NBSOIL project is the SOIL Academy. So the SOIL Academy is an attractive blended learning program to train a new wave of soil advisors. So the SOIL Academy is being a 2 years training program that will provide an immersive, interactive, and flexible learning. So the Academy is divided in 4 modules and a final project that we will see now. An overview of these 4 modules now. So the SOIL Academy is divided into 4 modules. The first one cover all the soil, the thematic of soil and nature-based solutions. The second, the soil health and living labs facilitation. The third module, digital tools for soil health monitoring. And the last module is the module 4, is covered improving soil-related decision-making in business and policy. And then we have final projects, okay? So now in the SOIL Academy, we have available full content for the module 1, the module 4, the module 2, sorry, the level 1 of module 3, and now the level 1 of module 4. So when I'm talking about levels, so that means that each model that I presented before is divided in 3 levels. So each level will have a different kind of learning. I mean, from the basic, intermediary, and advanced learning. So, for example, the level 1 is a 15 hours level. We have foundation learning. That is, all participants understand essential concepts. So we have a basic concept. You learn a basic concepts about the thematic. So, and this level, the content will be available in 7 languages. So, English, Polish, German, Dutch, French, Italian, and Spanish. The second level is a mid-tier, so is a intermediate learning. So here the participants deepen their knowledge with a specific exercise, being able to choose topics that interest them more. Okay, so here we have more hours, so it's a 30 hours level. Then we will go deep into the knowledge about the thematic, and then we have the level 3 that is advanced tier. So it is advanced learning available for participants who want to go beyond the self-learning and test their knowledge with an in-depth practical exercise. So this level is a 60-hour level with more advanced advanced content. So in the SOIL Academy, what do you learn? So the SOIL Academies provide a range of theoretical and practical expertise for sustainable soil management. So as I told you before, is structured in 4 modules and the final project. So the final project is where you participant will form teams between yourselves, and then we'll be with these teams we'll create some case studies, okay, and we will be mentored by the NBSOIL experts. So this will be more detailed in another opportunity. And how to follow the academy? You are able to follow the academy at your own pace. And focus, of course, in the areas that the most interest for you. And the modules will be structured, as I told you before, also in the 3 consecutive levels and with different commitments. The content of the academy is online modules, okay? So with self-learning materials, tests, and assignments facilitated through an e-learning platform, and of course live sessions, that is webinars like this one. And that is for me, yes, this is for you, because the SOIL Academy is addressed to all the people living in Europe that they are currently working as soil or agriculture advisors, or the thinking to work on that. So, but you don't need to be just from Europe. For example, we have several participants in other modules around the world. But we have to let it clear that, for example, the content level 1 is focus and the policies and business models related to Europe. But of course, even though you can participate. So this was a brief introduction about what is the NBSOIL project and the SOIL Academy. So now I will present to you what is the module 4 of the SOIL Academy and how is structured this module 4. So our module is titled, the name is Improving Soil-Related Decision Making in Business and Policy. So the main goal of this module is to explore the knowledge of business models aligned with soil health and soil-related regulations and policy framework. And as I told you, is structure also this model in 3 advanced level, 3 levels. So going from the starting from basic knowledge, where you can get this in 15 hours, to the advanced knowledge in 60 hours. So, and what is the module for? So the module 4 is based in 4 main pillars. So where you understand what are the existing business models related to soil advisory service, and what are the opportunities of fundings even in the public sector or in private sector, for soil advisory service. The second pillar is explore the employment opportunities and business models for soil advisor. So we will explore and show you or give the path of the knowledge about employment opportunities that we have and also the business models. The third pillar is the gain familiarity with how the European policies will impact the soil health, or directly or indirectly, and understand how these European policies support nature-based solutions, providing, of course, valuable insights for soil advisory and land management contests. So now I will present to the course outline that we have. So this level 1 is released in English and will be in the coming weeks in other 6 languages also. So the level 1 is divided into 2 sections. So as you can see here, the soil advisory section and the policy section. So the soil advice section we work in this first level in 2 main topics. That is public funding and private funding. So the funding for business opportunities and models in public and private sector. So for example, in public funding, we will explain more about the common agriculture policy, the EU result-based payments, and the national and regional programs and funds, and also giving some dynamic examples about this. Also about the private funding, we work more about the carbon markets for credits with EU certifications and EU eco-label related soil health. And what are the learning outcomes from this level, from this section and level 1? So we will understand the concepts of soil advisory service and soil advisors, the types of the service provided in the agricultural sector, understand what are the sustainable business models to support soil health, comprehend the role of soil advisors in implementing sustainable business models. Also, what are the types of fundings for business opportunities, understand what the cap is and what is these funds, comprehend results-based payments schemes, understand the framework for EU carbon removal certification, and knowledge regarding the EU eco-label opportunity. So these are the learning outcomes of the level 1 that we have from the soil advisory section. For the policy sections, our colleague Dario will explain more about this.
Yeah, thanks, Joao. So as you can see on the right side of the screen, you have the main learning outcomes. And I would like just to point out some of the content of this policy part, saying that we decided to start with the very beginning of the journey regarding policies on soil health at the European Union level. And so we decided to start with the 2006 soil thematic strategy. Indeed, before the adoption of the EU soil strategy for 2030 in 2021, the soil thematic strategy was published in 2006, and it was the most ambitious effort to address soil protection at the European Union level and to promote sustainable use and restoration of soil. And so even though this soil thematic strategy didn't lead to the adoption of any binding legislation at that time, it was a milestone because it recognized for the first time that human activities had a very strong impact on soil health, and that soil health was degrading very fast. So we decided to start with this strategy that was published in 2006, and then we decided to follow with the Soil Year for Europe, which is one of the 5 research and innovation missions of the Horizon Europe program that the Commission launched in September 2021. And these missions recognize the need to, we can say, promote cross-cutting and integrated strategies to address some of the European most pressing societal challenges. And soil health is considered one of them. So it is very important to recognize the Soil Deal for Europe, because it is also quite a milestone in terms of policies at the European Union level related to soil health and dedicated especially to soil health. And then, of course, we couldn't exclude the European Green Deal, which, as you may know, was announced by the President of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in 2019. And the European Green Deal serves as a roadmap, a policy roadmap, we can say, for the EU sustainability transition. So it is important to say that it does not impose legally binding obligations on member states, but instead it establishes ambitious targets and action plans that member states are expected to implement through national legislation. And there are several strategies within the European Green Deal that have a direct and indirect impact on soil health, or they can lead to some policies at the national level that have a direct or indirect impact on soil health. And some of the policies we have focused on are the EU soil strategy, of course, that is very important, and it's also an important milestone at the EU level. The EU biodiversity strategy, the farm to fork strategy, the EU forest strategy, the zero pollution strategy, and EU climate law. So these are some of the policies and strategies that are included in the European Green Deal and that we have analyzed. Then, of course, we decided and we thought that we had to focus in this very first level of Module 4 on the Common Agricultural Policy, as it is one of the most important policies at the European Union level that have a very strong impact on soil health. The Common Agricultural Policy came into effect in 2023 and will last until 2027. And also from a budget point of view is one of the most financially important policies at the European Union level. And so the module will, in this level 1, will focus on the CAP governance and structure. So explaining that the CAP is organized and divided in 2 main pillars. So there is a first pillar that comprises direct payments and market measures. And then there is also a second pillar that consists of rural development measures. We have also emphasized that there are some important innovation in this CAP. And one of the most important ones is the introduction of eco schemes. Another important factor from the governance point of view is the increased responsibility given to member states that have to develop a national CAP strategy plan to set their objectives and design the best ways to achieve those objectives. Then we have focused on the soil-related objectives in the CAP. Some of them refer to enhancing carbon sequestration to improve climate change adaptation and mitigation. Another makes reference to improving the efficient management of natural resources, and this includes also soil. And a third one, among the most important ones, is about halting and reversing biodiversity loss. And soil biodiversity loss is a very important and central theme for soil health conservation and restoration. And then we focused on the CAP main instruments, so the enhanced conditionality framework, that is to say, the set of mandatory environmental requirements that farmers have to comply with and follow to receive CAP payments. And the CAP enhanced conditionality framework includes the statutory management requirements that are existing regulations and directives at the European Union level that have an impact on soil health, such as the Nitrates Directive. And then the enhanced conditionality framework also includes the good agricultural and environmental conditions that are mostly known as GAICs. And then, of course, we focused on eco schemes, which, as I said, are quite an innovation in this CAP, and they are under Pillar 1, and they reward farmers for voluntarily adopting sustainable management practices that go beyond the mandatory requirements established by the conditionality framework. And then we focused on the agri-environment climate commitments that are also voluntary for farmers to adopt, but member states have to propose them. Like they must be available for farmers, and they compensate farmers for implementing long-term environmental practices. And finally, maybe it's just to say that we also focus very much on analyzing to what extent the CAP is aligned with the with the objectives of the Green Deal, and trying to also put forward some recommendations on how this cap, and the next one might be more aligned with the Green Deal objectives, especially with the ones related to soil health.
Okay, thank you, Dario. Just sorry, I forgot to tell you before. If you will have a question that we will treat this in the last 15 minutes of the webinar, you can write in the chat, and then later we will read and answer you. Okay. So this was the material for the first level of the content for the first level of the module. The level 1 is being released now today, and then the second level will be released in 1 month, or around 1 month, 1 month and a half. So the content also is divided in a soil advisory and the policy sections. So the soil advisory, we will treat more about the soil advisory service and improving the access to them and the market, also the commercializing the soil advisory service, the increasing competitiveness about this soil advisory, and what are the cooperation possibilities. So we are developing this material, and will be released in 1 month. And also the second topic of this section will be more dynamic exercise, and then you will show us what are the existing soil advisory service in your country. So you show us what are the public soil advisory service in the private sector and the public sector, and also the mix between them. Dario?
Yes. Regarding the policy part of this level 2, we focused on very much on the natural restoration regulation that was adopted last year and can have a very strong and direct impact on soil health. And I want just to give you what could be the learning outcomes of this second level, that is understanding the goals, the legal structure, and the importance of this regulation. Identify key restoration targets for terrestrial, urban, agricultural, and forest ecosystems, including some legally binding deadlines for action for member states, explaining the role of soil restoration, peatland rewetting, sustainable agriculture and forestry practices in achieving biodiversity and land degradation neutrality objectives. And finally, also analyzing the structure and the content of the national restoration plans that member states are currently drafting. They have time till, if I'm not wrong, the 1st September of 2026. So this is the next year will be a very crucial period for member states to draft their restoration plans. And they will also need to highlight to what extent these plans are integrated and aligned with the CAP strategy plans, because this will be important also from a financial point of view. So we will also explain the importance, and talk about the importance of policy coherence among these policies, because at the end of the day, all these policies have to talk to each other: the European Green Deal, the CAP, the Natural Restoration Regulation. As for now, we have not yet focused on the Soil Monitoring and Resilience Directive, because even though we know that the final text was approved in last April after a trialogue between the Commission, the Council, and the Parliament at the EU level, we do not have the final text yet, and we hope to have it soon. And so, but this is something that might be discussed in the next level. And then another thing we thought it was important to focus on were the policies addressing soil pollution at the European Union level. Because as João said earlier, one of the main objectives of this part of the module is to understand how these policies support or hinder the implementation of the nature-based solutions covered by the NBSOIL project. And policies addressing soil pollution can have a very strong impact on whether on whether these policies support bioremediation, for instance, or green infrastructure. There are two nature-based solutions covered by this project. So, for instance, I'll give you just some examples. We will describe the main objectives and mechanisms of the Environmental Liability Directive in preventing and remedying soil contamination. We try to summarize the obligations imposed on operators by the Industrial Emissions Directive that has recently been updated to prevent, monitor, and remediate soil pollution from industrial and intensive livestock activities, and understand how the Waste Framework Directive and Landfill Directive seek to prevent soil contamination, analyze how the Water Framework Directive addresses diffuse pollution, and how it is related with sustainable agricultural practices, and finally evaluate the soil protection aspects of the Sewage Sludge Directive, including, we could say, the limits on, for instance, heavy metal concentrations in soil and sludge that are used in agriculture. So these are some of the topics covered in this part dedicated to policies addressing soil pollution.
Okay, thank you. So in the level 3 and the more advanced model, so we have a more a complex, not a kind of complex or dense content. So for the soil diverse section, will be divided in the 3 topics. The first one will talk about employment opportunities for soil advisor. What are the role of soil advisor in the private sector? Which kind of business opportunities we have? The second topic, business model development opportunities. So analyze the possibilities of obtaining green certificates related to carbon farming. And the third topic is soil quality assessment and land value. So how does the soil quality affect the value of land in the context of trade, sale, and lease, and also the risks of land concentration by global investors? So this will be, of course, will be more detailed, but for now these are the main topics that will be covered by this level in this section, the soil advisor.
Yeah. And regarding policy, as I was saying, we hope to have the final text of the Soil Monitoring and Resilience Directive quite soon, even though we don't have a final date yet. So our idea would be to analyze the most recent compromise or final text, and to evaluate whether the directive ensures strong governance, effective indicators, and enforceability, and to assess the alignment of these soil health law, we might call it, with other environmental frameworks, such as the Biodiversity Strategy and Water Framework Directive. And a final text could be available pretty soon, and so this could be part of and should be part of level 3. And we also hope to have pretty soon the water resilience strategy that the EU is currently developing, and the European Commission is expected to present this strategy by the end of the summer. But we hope to have some preliminary text available that we can analyze and present it to you in level 3, and also give some more information on the carbon removals and carbon farming regulation, to understand what it brings to the table, clarify how soil carbon sequestration is defined, measured, and verified, assess the environmental integrity of carbon farming schemes, and also explore, which is always a very relevant theme, to what extent this new regulation is integrated and aligned with the CAP funding, or so if there are some overlaps with, for instance, eco schemes, and how this could be managed. This could be some of the topics to be explored in level 3. And then, as Joao said, this level will be a good amount of time in this level will be dedicated to exercises, So we will ask you to maybe analyze, for instance, this could be one of the exercises, the CAP National Strategic Plan in your country, looking at some specific aspects related to soil health, or maybe some of the eco schemes that your country has decided to design and implement. So this will be like a very important part that will allow you also to try to implement and apply the knowledge that you have acquired throughout these 3 levels.
Okay. So here I'll just let for you here our emails, mine email and Dario. So if you have any comment, suggestion, or question for other days or about the content, what you are seeing in the module. So if you have any comment, anything, you just can send our email. Okay. So now I will present to you inside the Moodle platform. So I'll show you in the website how you can have access if you don't know yet the website, and showing the topics and how it works in there. So just to give you 1 minute to share the screen. Okay, is the website right? Is the browser you were saying?
Yes.
Okay.
To the browser, yes.
So to access the SOIL Academy, you can access the NBSOIL.eu. Here is the website of the project. So, and then there is this part of the Academy. You access the SOIL Academy there. You click in Enroll Now. And here you have to log in. So you put your credential. If you don't have the account, you come here and you can create your account. So what we will ask here, the information is the basic information like any website to make an account. So then when you create, then we have a confirmation email or an email, and then you can log in, okay? Oops. All right. So when you access the Moodle platform where we have our SOIL Academy, this is the first page that we see. Okay. So in home, when you click in the home, then we have the basic information. What is the NBSOIL Academy? A brief introduction. What are the recommended resources before starting? Okay. So here is recommend. It's not mandatory, but if you wish, you can access the SDAC, for example, to have an idea what is the SDAC, EU Science Hub, and also there's a material here for introduction of soil science. So it's an open textbook. So, and also what to expect about the NBSOIL Academy. Okay, so this is the first page, and here are all the models of the SOIL Academy. And the module now that we are releasing is the module 4. So you click here, and then we have the first page and explain here a brief introduction that this module will explore knowledge of business models aligned with soil health and soil-related regulations and policy frameworks. Okay, so then you click in the level 1. So this is the main page of the level 1 of our model. So this is the structure. So in the general section, you have here the announcements. We have updates or information to show you. So you receive some notification, and then you can access the announcements here. So this level, as I told you before, is divided in these 2 main sections. and each section, then when you click, we have all the content here, okay? So this is how is the structure. So the first, for example, like just to show you here, the first content is the learn outcomes, just to inform you what you're gonna learn in this level. This I already told you before in the slides. And then, for example, we have the introduction. So here, introduction about the soil advisory service. What are the soil advisory service? What is the soil advisors? What is business model? So, and also some illustrations. And then we have, for example, to not get lost, we have, if you saw already, content will appear here done. If you didn't see yet, it will appear here to do. So just to, in case you forget what you learn already or not. So, and then we have the public funding. Here's the content. So for example, the CAP. So everything about the CAP, what is necessary to learn about the CAP, the basic knowledge. And then in the final of this section, for example, the public funding, we have a quiz. So this quiz, how is structured this quiz? So for example, you come here in the questions about the quiz about the sections is, for example, the question is based on knowledge acquired in the public funding section. Choose the correct answer. So then we have one right answer. So I will just have a few guess here just to show you what is the final output after you answer everything. So for example, when you answer all the questions, then you submit your answer, and then we have here, of course, nothing's right. So you have which questions you were right, what was the right answers, what was the wrong answers. And then when you answer some wrong questions, then you have here, the system will tell you what are the correct and explain here what are the correct. Okay, so this is our final output of the quiz. So come back again to the level. So we have here the private funding all the same. In the end, we have a quiz, okay, to show what you learn about this basic knowledge. And then in the reference section, we have all the reference used to create this level. I mean, this section. So we have also the link here. So is to you if you want to learn more. So then you can access these materials. For soil policy, the structure is basically the same. So we follow all what we were presented before. So for example, the quiz can be a little different. For example, here, the quiz of the policy section, we have the questions are read in here. So we have different questions, but also it's just one right. And also we have a true or false style, let's say like that. Okay, so this is our quizzes. So also in the end of each topic, we have a quiz and also the reference. Well, this is I think is very simple to assess and navigate between these topics. So to learn and understand every topic that we have here. So for example, schemes in the policy framework. So it's very dynamic and simple. So we wrote this model in a simple way to improve, to improve the flow, to have like a simple kind of learning lecture learning. So I think this is a kind of quick overview about the SOIL Academy platform and how to assess this. So yes, we can jump now to the last topic, Dario.
Yeah, as I wrote in the chat, if you have any questions regarding the module or the content of the module or what was just presented by Joao, the way of navigating in the Moodle platform. If you have any questions on this, or this could be a good moment to discuss about your potential doubts or questions. Yes. Joe, regarding the first question from Angela. Angela, thanks for posing this question. The amount of time to accomplish each module. I think that the modules will be online for the duration of the project. And regarding the sorry, the project will last till 2026, the end of 2026.
Yeah, December 26.
And regarding the how many times you can do the exercises. I don't know if Joe, you have any specific answer on that? How many?
Yeah, you have infinite attempt. So
Okay.
yes, there's no limitation for that. Yes, so the module that will be available until the end of the project, I guess. So is to 26, yeah. And the quiz is available. You can I'm not sharing anymore the screen, right? So is you can try a lot of times, and then you improve your knowledge, and then you study again, and then yes, it's infinite attempts. Thank you for the question.
So regarding the question from Bert Smith, thanks for the question. This is not a topic that is covered in this specific module. There are other modules that focus more specifically on the implementation of sustainable soil management practices, such as Module 1. So in case you're interested in knowing more about the different, I mean, of course, the costs and benefits, I guess you mean from an economic point of view. I don't know if Module 1 specifically focuses on the economic costs and benefits of sustainable soil management practices, but rather on the benefits for soil health. So I don't know if the costs, the economic costs for farmers to implement these management practices are taken into account. Of course, we know that this is a super important topic, and that's why it is something that also in the work we are doing in this project, we have highlighted more than once, also in the policy analysis we have done, that some of the recommendations we are putting forward regarding how we can improve some of the policies related to soil health at the European Union level, such as the CAP, have to take into consideration also the potential economic costs incurred by farmers when implementing soil sustainable management practices. So trying to further recommend that the payments of some of these policies should be should compensate farmers and reward farmers for the ecosystem services they provide. being aware that this is not always the case right now, and that there are economic costs for implementing these management practices. I know this is like a very broad topic, but I tried to address your question with the information we have right now for this module, that on the policy side focuses more on how the policies support or hinder the implementation of these practices. Thank you very much for the question. About the question from Jorge Osman, thank you for the question. I think that generally speaking, the consortium behind the NBSOIL project is always open for collaborations with other EU-funded projects. It could be LIFE or Horizon Europe. We always seek to find new ways to collaborate with other projects and to make sure that synergies between projects are taken advantage of and leveraged, because many times there is we can say a galaxy of projects out there that do not necessarily speak to each other, and if we can improve the collaboration between projects that many times focus on very similar topics, but I mean, I think this would simply be great. And sometimes the great challenge is to be aware of the other projects focusing on similar topics. And once we know which projects focus on similar topics, we try to collaborate with them. And we are doing that in with Horizon Europe projects, trying to collaborate with projects like SoilGuard, like Prep Soil, and others that fall within the broader umbrella of European funded projects on soil health, soil biodiversity, soil monitoring, and so on and so forth. So if you have any proposal for collaboration, we would be very glad to hear it. And thank you for the question. It's always very relevant. I guess we can wait maybe 1 more minute to see if there are further questions.
Yes, I think so.
And if not, we can already thank you for your participation. And we hope that you'll find this module useful. And we remain available in case you have any questions or doubts regarding the module. As Joe said, you have our emails, and also about potential collaborations between European funded projects, or also other projects, of course. Okay, I think, Joe, there are no more questions.
Yeah, I think there is no more questions. So thank you very much for everyone for this participation in the webinar. So here's the email that I put in the chat. So Dario, if you want to also include your email there. If you have any more questions or regarding the navigation of the module in the Moodle platform. So here also in the chat was the website, the SOIL Academy. So thank you very much, and I hope we see you in the SOIL Academy and the Module 4.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.